Nearly 6 months had passed since the mystery of Grandpa Richard's pocket watch had finally been solved. Life at the Carter Foundation had settled into a quiet rhythm. Every sunrise brought new visitors. Every sunset left behind new stories. The old farmhouse no longer felt like a museum. It had become a home for people who needed hope. Children read books beneath the oak tree. Families shared coffee on the front porch. Volunteers sorted letters that arrived from every corner of the country. Inside Grandpa Richard's study, the familiar desk still stood beside the window. Resting upon it were 3 treasured objects: the old pocket watch, the tiny brass key, and the silver compass, engraved with the words, "Find people, not places." Noah smiled as he gently wound the watch. The steady ticking filled the room, not as a reminder that time was passing, but as proof that love could outlive the people who first gave it. Sarah entered, holding a stack of envelopes. "You have mail," she said with a smile. Noah laughed softly. "I don't think I'll ever catch up." Daniel followed, carrying 2 boxes filled with donated books. Good problem to have. The foundation had become more than a place. It had become a promise that no one would have to face life's hardest moments alone. Late that morning, a small blue sedan pulled slowly into the driveway. It wasn't unusual. Visitors arrived every day, but something about this car caught Noah's attention. The engine stopped. The driver's door opened gently. A woman in her early 30s stepped out. She looked around as though she had searched for this place for a very long time. Then, the passenger door opened. A little girl, about 11 years old, climbed out, holding something carefully against her chest. It wasn't a toy. It wasn't a gift bag. It was an old envelope, wrapped carefully inside a faded cloth handkerchief. The little girl held it with both hands, as though it were the most valuable thing she had ever carried. Noah walked toward them. "Welcome to the Carter Foundation." The woman smiled politely, but before she could speak, the little girl took one careful step forward. She looked directly into Noah's eyes, then quietly asked, "Are you Richard Carter's grandson?" Noah nodded. "I am." The little girl looked down at the envelope, then back at Noah. Her voice was almost a whisper. "My grandfather told me if I ever found you, I had to give this back." She slowly held out the yellowed envelope. Its edges were worn. Its paper had softened with age. Across the front, in faded handwriting, were 5 simple words: "Return to the Carter family." Noah's heart skipped a beat. He recognized the handwriting. Immediately, it belonged to Grandpa Richard, but the date, written in the upper corner, made him freeze. April 18, 1976. Nearly 50 years ago. For a long moment, Noah couldn't speak. He simply held the envelope in his hands, wondering how one forgotten promise had found its way home after half a century, and deep inside, had felt that Grandpa Richard was about to tell one more story. The old envelope rested quietly in Noah's hands. Its paper had turned a soft golden brown. The corners were worn smooth, as though it had been held with great care for many years. Noah gently ran his fingers across the front. There was no doubt the handwriting belonged to Grandpa Richard. Every letter, every curve, exactly the way he remembered. Daniel stepped closer. Is it really his writing? Noah nodded slowly. I've seen thousands of pages. He wrote. I'd recognize his handwriting anywhere. The little girl still stood quietly. She never rushed, never interrupted. She simply watched, as though she understood. This moment didn't belong to her alone. Sarah smiled gently. What is your name? The little girl replied. My name is Grace. And this, me mom, the woman, introduced herself. I'm Emily. She glanced at the envelope. My father asked us to bring it here after he passed away. He never opened it. He wouldn't let anyone open it. He always said it belonged to Richard Carter's family. Noah looked surprised. He kept it for 50 years? Emily nodded. He carried it every time we moved. It stayed in the same wooden box beside his bed. When he became very sick, he called Grace into his room. Emily's voice began to tremble. He placed the envelope in her hands and whispered, find the Carter family, no matter how long it takes. Grace lowered her eyes. I promised him I would. Silence filled the room. Noah looked at Grandpa Richard's pocket watch, then at the old envelope. One promise had waited half a century. Another had finally been fulfilled. Very carefully, Noah broke the fragile seal. The sound was almost too soft to hear. Inside was a single folded sheet and one black and white photograph. The photograph showed two young men standing beside an old pickup truck. One was Grandpa Richard, smiling, much younger than Noah had ever seen him. Beside him stood another man, his clothes wear-worn. His face looked tired, yet he smiled, as though someone had just given him a second chance. On the back of the photograph, Grandpa Richard had written, some promises take a lifetime to come home. Noah felt a lump in his throat. He unfolded the letter. The paper crackled gently. The ink had faded slightly, but Grandpa Richard's words were still clear. The first line read, Dear Thomas, if you are reading this, then life has already given you another chance. Noah stopped, looked at Emily. Was your father's name Thomas? Emily smiled softly. It was. Noah took a slow breath. He knew this wasn't just another letter. It was a promise made between two young men nearly 50 years ago. A promise that had crossed generations to arrive exactly when it was meant to. Outside, the wind moved gently through the branches of the old oak tree, almost as though Grandpa Richard already knew. His words had finally found their way home. The room fell completely silent. Noah held the old letter with both hands. The faded ink carried the voice of a much younger Richard Carter, yet somehow it sounded exactly the same. Warm, gentle, steady. Noah continued reading. Dear Thomas, if you are reading this, then life has already given you another chance. I hope you accepted it. When we first met, you believed everything valuable in your life had already been lost. You told me a broken man could never become a good father. I never believed that for a moment, because I have learned that people are not remembered for the mistakes they survive. They are remembered for the love they choose. Afterward, Noah paused. He looked toward Emily. She quietly covered her mouth. Tears filled her eyes. My father used to say those exact words. He never told us where he learned them. Daniel smiled softly. He carried Richard's voice his entire life. Noah continued, Thomas, if one day you become the father I believe you can be, promise me you will teach your children one simple truth. Never measure someone by the worst chapter of their life, because every heart deserves the opportunity to begin again. If that day comes, you will never owe me anything. Just pass this kindness forward. That will be enough. The room remained silent. The only sound was the gentle ticking of Grandpa Richard's pocket watch. Emily slowly spoke. My father wasn't always a happy man. When he was young, he struggled with alcohol. He lost his first job. He almost lost his family. But something changed him. He never told us what happened. He only said, one stranger believed in me before I believed in myself. Grace looked at the photograph. So, that stranger was your grandpa? Noah smiled. I think he would say they became friends. Emily reached into her handbag. There is one more thing. She carefully removed a small leather notebook. Its cover was cracked with age. Inside, the first page carried Thomas's handwriting. At the top, he had written, Things Richard taught me. Every page contained short lessons, simple reminders, acts of kindness, conversation, moments that had shaped an entire lifetime. Noah slowly turned the pages. One sentence caught his eye. When you cannot change someone's past, help them believe they still have a future. Noah smiled quietly. That sentence sounded exactly like Grandpa Richard, yet Thomas had made it his own. As Noah reached the final page, a folded receipt slipped gently onto the desk. It wasn't a receipt at all. It was a map drawn by hand. Across the top, Thomas had written only 6 words, the place where it all began. Noah looked at Daniel, then at Emily. He realized the journey wasn't over yet. It was about to return to the place where Grandpa Richard changed one life that would eventually touch generations. The hand-drawn map lay open across Grandpa Richard's desk. Its lines were simple. Its paper had faded, but one location had been circled with great care. Above it, Thomas had written only 6 words, the place where it all began. Noah looked at Emily. Do you know where this is? She nodded slowly. My father brought me there. When I was little, he never explained why. He would simply sit quietly on the same bench for a long time. Then we'd go home. Daniel smiled softly. I think it's time we understand why. The next morning, Noah, Daniel, Emily, Grace, and Lily set out together. The old map rested carefully inside Noah's backpack. Beside it were Grandpa Richard's pocket watch and Thomas's notebook. After nearly an hour's drive, they arrived at a quiet park. Time had changed many things. The trees, the walking paths had been rebuilt. Children played nearby. Birds sang softly above the lake. But one thing had not changed. Near the center of the park, an old wooden bench still faced the water. Emily stopped walking. Her voice almost disappeared. This is it. Grace looked at the bench. So, this is where Great-Grandpa Thomas met Richard. Emily nodded. I think so. Noah walked slowly toward the bench. Its wood was worn smooth by countless years. He gently ran his hand across its backrest. Then he noticed something unusual hidden beneath. One corner were tiny carved initials. Ren, Che, De, Tao, Tao. Daniel smiled. They carved their initials. Noah shook his head. No, I think they carved a friendship. Grace quietly sat down on the bench. She looked across the lake. It feels peaceful. The elderly park keeper, who had been watering flowers nearby, slowly walked over. I haven't seen anyone visit that bench in many years. Noah smiled politely. My grandfather used to come here. The old man looked carefully at Noah, then at the photograph he was holding. His eyes suddenly widened. Richard, you look just like him. Noah froze. You knew my grandfather? The park keeper laughed softly. I watched those two young men sit here almost every week. They didn't always talk. Sometimes they just shared the silence. He smiled, looking toward the lake. I remember one afternoon, Thomas cried for nearly an hour. Richard never tried to stop him. He simply stayed. The old man closed his eyes for a moment. When Thomas finally stood up, he looked like a different person. I never forgot that day. Grace squeezed her mother's hand. So, sometimes you help people without saying anything. The park keeper smiled warmly. The kindest people often speak the least. Just as everyone prepared to leave, Grace noticed a small brass plaque attached to the side of the bench. It looked lower than the wood. She brushed away a layer of dust, then quietly read the engraved words, "For everyone who chooses to stay when someone else feels alone." No name, no date, no recognition, only a message. Noah smiled with tears in his eyes. He didn't need to ask who had placed it there. He already knew. Grandpa Richard would never have wanted his own name on the bench because the place had never been about him. It had always been about the next stranger who needed someone to simply sit beside them. The small brass plaque caught the afternoon sunlight. Its sample message spoke louder than any name ever could. For everyone who chooses to stay when someone else feels alone. Grace gently ran her fingers across the engraved words. It's beautiful, but who put it here? Noah looked at the elderly park keeper. He smiled quietly. I wondered when someone would finally ask. He motioned toward the bench. Sit down. Everyone gathered around the old bench. The breeze carried the scent of fresh grass across the lake. For a moment, it felt as though time had slowed down. The park keeper began his story. About 15 years ago, a man came here just before sunrise. He carried a small backpack and one brass plaque. He asked me if he could attach it to this bench. I told him, as long as it didn't advertise anything, I didn't mind. The old man smiled. He worked for almost an hour. When he finished, I noticed he never wrote his own name. I asked why. He simply smiled and said, kindness loses nothing by remaining anonymous. Noah closed his eyes. Those words sounded exactly like Grandpa Richard. Emily whispered, was it my father? The park keeper nodded slowly. Yes, Thomas. He came back every year. He would sit on this bench for a while. Sometimes he brought flowers. Sometimes he brought a thermos of coffee. But every year, before leaving, he thanked a friend who wasn't there. Grace quietly wiped away a tear. I never knew Great-Grandpa did that. Emily smiled softly. He never told anyone. He believed some promises were between his heart and Richard's. The park keeper reached into his jacket pocket. I've been keeping something for a long time. He carefully pulled out a small envelope. Its edges were worn. Its paper had yellowed with age. Across the front, only 3 words had been written: "For the keeper." The old man handed it to Noah. "Thomas gave me this envelope the last time I saw him. He told me, if Richard's family ever returns, please give them this." Noah gently opened the envelope. Inside was a single photograph taken many years ago. It showed Richard Carter, Thomas, and the young park keeper, all 3 sitting together on the very same bench, laughing. On the back, Thomas had written, in careful handwriting, "A friendship can outlive the people who began it." Silence settled over the park. Noah looked at the photograph, then at Grace. "Your great-grandfather kept his promise." Grace smiled. "And now, so have we." As they prepared to leave, the park keeper pointed toward a large oak tree standing only a few yards away. "Richard buried something near that tree. He told me never to dig it up until his family returned." Everyone stopped. Noah looked toward the old oak. His heart began to race because somehow he knew the journey wasn't finished yet. Grandpa Richard had left one final gift, waiting patiently beneath the roots of the tree, where one friendship had changed generations. The old oak tree stood quietly near the lake. Its massive branches reached high into the afternoon sky. Its roots spread deeply into the earth, almost as though they were protecting something precious. Noah slowly walked toward it. In his hands, he carried Grandpa Richard's pocket watch, Thomas's letter, and the old photograph. The elderly park keeper followed behind. "I've cared for this park for 38 years. I watched Richard visit this tree every spring. He never told me why. He only said, some things need time before they're understood." Grace looked around the trunk. "There aren't any marks." "There doesn't need to be," the park keeper replied. He always remembered exactly where. Noah knelt near the roots. The ground was soft, covered with fallen leaves. Daniel found a small, hardened shovel inside the park's maintenance shed. No one spoke. They dug carefully, respectfully, not searching for treasure, but honoring a promise. After only a few minutes, the shovel touched something. Knock. Wood. Everyone stopped breathing. Noah gently brushed away the soil. A small wooden box slowly appeared. It was no larger than a family Bible. Its lid had darkened with age, but it remained perfectly intact. There was no lock, no keyhole, only a brass plate. Engraved in Grandpa Richard's handwriting were the words, "For those who still believe, kindness matters." Grace smiled. I think he knew someone would come. Very carefully, Noah lifted the lid. Inside, there was no gold, no jewelry, no money, only three things: a small notebook, a tiny cloth pouch, and one sealed envelope. Across the envelope, Grandpa Richard had written, "Do not read alone." Daniel looked at Noah. I don't think he meant one person. Noah nodded. He meant a family. They all sat together beneath the oak tree. Emily, Grace, Danielle, Sarah, Lily, the elderly park keeper, and Noah. No one opened the envelope. Not yet. Instead, Noah picked up the tiny notebook. The first page contained only one sentence. Every promise begins with one decision: to care. He turned the next page. Every page contained the name of one person. Beside each name was a single date and one short sentence. Visited today. Needed hope. Smiled before leaving. Nothing more. No long stories. No explanations. Just proof that Grandpa Richard never counted how many people he helped. He only remembered that they mattered. Near the end of the notebook, one name made Noah stop. Thomas. Beside it, Richard had written, "One day, he will teach others what hope feels like." Emily covered her mouth. Tears filled her eyes. My father did exactly that. The park keeper smiled. Richard always believed in people before they believed in themselves. As the sun began to set, the unopened envelope still rested quietly in Noah's hands. Across its front, the fading ink seemed almost alive. Do not read alone. Noah looked at everyone sitting beside him, then smiled. For the first time, I understand what Grandpa meant. Some letters weren't written for one person. They were written for everyone who chooses to care. With trembling hands, he reached toward the seal, ready to open the final message. Grandpa Richard had hidden for nearly half a century. The sealed envelope rested quietly in Noah's hands for nearly 50 years. It had waited beneath the roots of the old oak tree, not hidden from people, protected for the right moment. Around Noah, everyone sat in complete silence. The evening breeze moved gently through the leaves. Birdsong slowly faded as the sun began to set. With careful hands, Noah broke the fragile seal. The paper made a soft sound, almost like a whisper from another time. Inside was one letter, several pages, folded neatly. At the top, Grandpa Richard had written only one sentence. This letter belongs to everyone who still believes. One kind heart can change the world. Noah smiled softly, then began to read. Dear friend, I do not know your name. I do not know your age. I do not know where life will find you, but somehow our stories have crossed paths. Perhaps you open this letter. Perhaps someone you love. Read it aloud. Either way, you are here, and that means something. When I was young, I believed changing the world required great achievements. I was wrong. The world changes quietly. It changes when someone listens instead of judging. It changes when someone forgives instead of keeping score. It changes when one person see this. Another person should not suffer alone. Please never believe that kindness is too small to matter. Every forest begins with one seed. Every family begins with one promise. Every legacy begins with one decision to care. Noah paused. His voice had begun to tremble. Grace reached over and gently held his hand. Emily quietly whispered, "He wrote this as if he knew we would all be here." Daniel smiled. "Maybe he did." Noah continued reading. "One day, people may forget my name. That is perfectly fine. Names, fodder, buildings, grow old, objects eventually break, but one act of genuine kindness can live inside another heart for generations. If you wish to honor me, do not build a statue, do not name a street, do not tell the world about Richard Carter. Instead, sit beside someone who feels alone. Write one encouraging letter. Make one lonely person feel seen. Then, without expecting anything in return, walk quietly away. That will always be enough." The final page contained only one short paragraph. If this letter has reached you, then my family has kept its promise, and perhaps now you will keep yours. Silence wrapped itself around the old oak tree. No one spoke. No one needed to. The words didn't feel like a farewell. They felt like a gentle hand resting on every shoulder around the circle as Noah folded the letter back into its envelope. A small card slipped quietly onto the grass. It had been hidden between the last pages. On its front, Grandpa Richard had written 5 simple words. Open this next Christmas. Grace looked at Noah with wide eyes. Another promise? Noah smiled through tears. I think Grandpa never really stopped writing. Everyone laughed softly for the first time that day, because somehow they all knew the story still wasn't over. Autumn quietly gave way to winter. The leaves beneath the old oak tree turned golden, then disappeared. Snow covered the paths around the Carter Foundation. Tiny lights hung from the porch. Wreaths decorated the windows. Inside the old farmhouse, laughter filled every room. Nearly 3 months had passed since Noah found Grandpa Richard's hidden letter, but one promise still remained. The small card rested safely inside Grandpa Richard's pocket watch box. Across the front, 5 familiar words waited patiently. Open this next Christmas. On Christmas Eve, Noah invited everyone together. Daniel, Sarah, Lily, Emily, Grace, the elderly park keeper, volunteers, neighbors, families whose lives had somehow been touched by Grandpa Richard. The study was warm. A fire crackled softly inside the fireplace. Outside, snowflakes fell silently. Noah placed the tiny card on Grandpa Richard's desk. He smiled. I think this is exactly what Grandpa wanted. No one hurried. No one spoke. Slowly, Noah opened the card. Inside was a single page, written in Grandpa Richard's gentle handwriting. Dear friend, if you are reading this, then it is Christmas, which means someone has gathered, not because they had to, but because they chose to be together. That is already a miracle. Christmas is often remembered for gifts, for decorations, for traditions, but I have learned that the greatest gift is presence. Someone who stays, someone who listens, someone who quietly reminds you that you matter. If someone is sitting beside you tonight, please look at them, not with your eyes, with your heart. You may never know how much they needed this moment. Grace quietly looked at her mother. Emily smiled and gently held her hand. Noah continued. When dinner ends, when the lights are taken down, when another year begins, do not leave Christmas behind. Carry it into ordinary days. Bring hope to someone. In February, offer forgiveness. In June, share kindness. In October, love should never depend on the calendar. If my family is reading this, thank you, not for remembering me, but for remembering each other. That has always been the greatest gift you could ever give me. With love, always, Richard. The room fell silent. Several people quietly wiped away tears. Daniel smiled. He even turned a Christmas card into a life lesson. Everyone laughed softly. Grace reached into her coat pocket. I brought something too. She carefully removed a folded sheet of white paper. I wrote a Christmas letter. She handed it to Noah. Across the top, she had written, Dear future stranger, if someday you feel forgotten, please remember, there is always a plus for you. At our table, Emily's eyes filled with tears. The elderly park keeper smiled quietly. Sarah whispered, Richard's kindness didn't end. It grew. Outside, the snow continued falling, softly, silently, covering the earth like a blanket of peace. As Noah placed Grace's letter beside Grandpa Richard's Christmas card, he noticed one final envelope resting quietly at the bottom of the wooden box. Across the front were 4 simple words: for tomorrow's child. No one had seen it before. No one knew who it was for. But somehow, everyone felt that Grandpa Richard had one final blessing still waiting to be shared. The final envelope rested quietly at the bottom of the wooden box. Its paper was almost untouched, as if Grandpa Richard had always known someone would eventually find it. Across the front, only 4 words had been written: for tomorrow's child. Grace looked at Noah. Should we open it? Noah smiled gently. I think that's exactly what Grandpa hoped. He carefully opened the envelope. Inside was one letter, folded neatly, and a tiny, pressed oak leaf. Its color had faded over the years, yet it remained perfectly preserved. Noah unfolded the letter. The room became completely still. Dear child, perhaps we will never meet. Perhaps you were born many years after I am gone. That is all right, because kindness does not need the giver to remain alive. If someone has shared this letter with you, then you are already part of something much larger than yourself. You are part of a promise that every generation will leave the world a little kinder than they found it. One day, you will grow up. You will make mistakes. You will feel afraid. You may even believe that no one understands you. When that day comes, remember this: you are never so broken to begin again. You are never too small to make someone else's life brighter. One smile, one conversation, one letter, one act of quiet kindness. That is how the world changes, not all at once, one heart at a time. Noah paused. His voice softened. He continued, reading the final lines. If this letter finds its way into your hands, please promise me only one thing. When someone needs hope, be the person who stays. When someone feels invisible, be the person who notices. And when life is kind to you, share that kindness freely, because love is the only gift that becomes greater every time it is given away with gratitude for a future I will never see. Richard Carter. Silence filled the room. No one moved. The fire crackled softly in the fireplace. Outside, snow continued to fall. Grace walked to the old bookshelf. She carefully placed Grandpa Richard's letter beside the Book of Quiet Kindness. Then she picked up a blank notebook. She smiled. I think it's our turn to keep writing. Noah nodded. Yes, Grandpa finished his story. Now, it's yours. Together, everyone in the room signed the first page, not as famous people, not as heroes, simply as ordinary people who promised to care. Before leaving, Grace turned the sign outside the Carter Foundation so every visitor could read it. Leave here, a little kinder than you arrived. As Dome slowly approached. The old pocket watch ticked gently on Grandpa Richard's desk, not counting the end of a story, but the beginning of thousands more. Final message. Kindness is never measured by how many people know your name. It is measured by how many lives become brighter because you chose to care. You may never meet everyone your kindness will reach, but every gentle word, every helping hand, every quiet act of compassion can travel farther than you will ever know.